as well. What Lisa will be sharing is that there is spiritual information, shifts, changes, and information that is provided through the dimensions that are of the galactic nature. Lisa will be decoding and referring to both and what they mean to the human realm. Okay, so that was the original message. So the other night, okay, so you guys go to the page that has all of the writing. The other night, because I was like, okay, you guys, what are we going to be doing? I don't understand. And this is what they read to me. Okay, so I'm going to kind of try to read this a little bit slow because there's some answers in this information that maybe like you may have a question about, and they're actually answering it in here. And then what we'll do, there's some questions that are the questions, and that's what's on the second page that I handed out, are some questions that are pertaining to this information. So here we go. Okay, so my question was, discussing interdimensional changes occurring within humans, can you tell me what those changes are? The changes that you will be discussing will have to do with the physical, mental, spiritual, and consciousness. What we are asking you to do is discuss all aspects. As we discuss what those changes are, and as we discuss the topics, you will have information that is given on each subject and definitions of what they are. This is what will be changing, and we will be explaining this to you at that time. Okay, so my next question is, okay, it also says, Lisa speaks of these portals. So what is it saying? What it is saying is the interdimensional changes that are occurring within humans. As Lisa speaks of these portals, there will be a residual effect to others as well. So, explain the portals. Portals are interdimensional openings that are allowing energy and spiritual recognition to travel from one dimension to another. And as these aspects are traveling, there's information that is being picked up in each dimension. The dimensional knowledge of each aspect is being ingrained in the individual as they are exposed. There are many ways a human can be exposed to these dimensions, such as the energetic or information that is to be received by the individual can travel down through the portal or up through a portal to be given to a human. The other aspects of the human can travel to or through the different portals to receive information. There are many, many portals that are around the earth and through the earthly plane to allow this traveling and transfer of information to occur easily and readily. The information that an individual can be provided from a specific location is dependent upon the individual receiving the information. Are they ready? Are they able to handle the information that is being received? These will be the questions being asked at the completion of this program. Okay, so you guys remember that, and we're talking those other questions. I asked Joyous to help me come up with some questions to ask because they didn't give me any, which is unusual. They always give me some, and they're like, no, I don't need to come up with a question. So I made Joyce do it. so kind of remember what this says, and so that if you guys do have a question about something specific about what it said, then keep it in mind and we'll ask it. Okay, the next question. Okay, then what you said is, what Lisa will be sharing is that there is spiritual information, shifts, changes, and information that is provided through the dimensions that are of the galactic nature. What do you want me to share? What we want you to know is there is a galactic force that is on every dimension. There is a dimension for all. As you talk about the different dimensional levels, you will be receiving that information from the level you are speaking of, and what we want you to be aware of is that there is help from the galactic beings that serve as mentors to the universe, as there there is a split or question about the spiritual aspects and the spiritual realm. How do they work together with the Galactics? The Galactics are a sovereign being. They are here to help. They are residing within these dimensions in order to replicate the spiritual gifts that have been given. What we want you to know and understand is that the source of all, which is what we call God, God has many helpers. There is a divine plan that has been put in place in order to help the earth exist on a continual basis and what that surrounds it. It is of the utmost importance that all work together as one to share the universe and to help it continually running as normal. Whew. Holy cow, you guys, I want to start crying. Oh my God. Sorry, for some reason a little bit emotional. Apparently this means a lot to them. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, as you can see, they want to make a point of this. This is something that's really serious. Okay, and I gotta find it. It is of the utmost importance that all work together as one to share the universe and to keep it continually running as normal. What we have acquired is a hesitance from humans to accept the understanding that there is help that is beyond their reach or their vision or their understanding. This is a hard pill to swallow for many. And when they're saying that, they're talking about it's a hard for all of our guides. It's a hard pill to swallow for them to see that the humans don't see this. Okay, so they're referring from the guides aspect of this is a hard pill to swallow for many. They are the many. And what we want you to share is that we are all working together to make the universe flow. What the goal is at this point in time and the relevance of what is transpiring is to gain an understanding that humans can be more than what they perceive themselves to be. What we want humans to recognize is that as the vibration increases throughout the universe, in order to share what God knows, the vibration of the local settlement, which they're referring to Earth, in order to share what God knows, the vibration of the local settlement, Earth, the inhabitants will have to change their vibration as well. As this may be a difficult process for many, we are asking you to be open and receive the guidance in order to share with others as they understand more of where their heart is and is going and what the purpose of their life is. As we strive for acceptance of an open, loving heart, care and compassion for one another, and the understanding that the earth is in balance, and in order for it, I guess that must have been it, to maintain that balance, there must be a respect for all that is. And this is when I started crying when I got the information. Having respect for the earth. For the earth to exist, okay, here we go again, sorry. For the earth to exist, humans must understand there is a cohesiveness that resides between all things that help to maintain the balance. And this is of the utmost importance, and this is what we want you to discuss. As there are many portals that are accessible to humans and their travels, their spiritual travels, their conscious travels, and they can gain the information of understanding that this cohesiveness is of the utmost importance for all to exist. This is the lesson to be learned. When humans allow themselves to become more open to the love of God, the Creator, the heart softens, and they begin to have an energetic flow that will increase the consciousness in these humans to have a better understanding of themselves. As we discuss this opening, this resistance that must be released to see that there is much more than what is beyond the physical eye. The human body will shift and change and become more receptive to the information and the physical changes that must go on in order to change and to exist in this new universe. This is what we want you to discuss. Okay, so is this what you were talking about, Meryl? When we were talking about the earth and the earth changing and the
Yes.
balance? Okay, here's my point. It was said specifically, because I thought when you said that, I thought that this is what you were referring to.
Not just us with the Earth, but us with the other galactic members of the universe. We're all shifting at the same time.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're kind of waiting on us.
Yeah,
We're holding
we
them
happen to
back.
be, they're laughing and saying, you're the difficult children. Yeah. So, okay,
You ready?
I think I am.
Okay.
I have a question
Okay.
about the portals.
Okay.
I know that there are certain locations around the earth that people travel to and talk about being portals. But is it necessary to go there to acquire the information that's
No.
needed?
No.
I mean,
And, yeah, no.
because we can be that conduit without having to travel somewhere.
Yes, yeah, you can. And that's a very good question, and we're gonna talk about it. So make sure that, we're gonna go through these questions that are on your list, and, because that's a very important question, because that's what people need to understand that, but I don't wanna repeat the information, but people need to understand that portals can lie within themselves. Okay, so that's where we're going. So make sure I answer that.
Yes, you
Okay, it's your job.
Okay, ready?
Yes, ma'am.
First question. What is a dimension?
The dimensions are the heavenly realms in which all reside. As you travel and go through the different levels of consciousness, you will begin to understand that there are different planes of existence, and this is what you are referring to. If you want to build on that, anybody that needs to ask a question, go ahead.
Well, the next question is, what are the dimensions? You kind of already answered that, and my question to them, which I think I already know, is, so what dimension are we on?
They're laughing and saying, you know that you're on the third dimension. You don't know that you're on the fifth dimension. What we're saying to you is that the human mind, those of you which have chosen to resist the vibrational changes that are occurring, are seen with the three-dimensional mind. We call this the third realm. The third realm of consciousness is very limited, as you know. And what they're saying is that there's not anybody in here that doesn't know what the third is. Everybody knows what the third dimension is, right? Is there anybody that not? Okay, the third dimension is basically the third. There's 1, 2, 3. The third dimension is what, like, it's a surface level. It's basically what everyday life is. It's what we see right here.
The five senses.
Yeah, it's the hearing, smelling, seeing. It's where it's where the most precious humanness lies. And they're laughing and saying, quote, the ego. Okay, so this is where all of our selfishness is, all of our self-centeredness is, all of our mind stuff is right here on the surface. When you choose to travel up, dimension 4 is a higher level of consciousness. Dimension number 5, or we call the fifth realm, is what you're really truly curious about. As we have shifted the earth to create the vibration that resides within the fifth realm of consciousness, you will begin to see those changes. What we are telling you is that the vibration already exists upon the earth. What we are waiting for is for the the human consciousness to shift and reside within that level of vibration that we have created. And yes, that vibrational unit has already been compiled upon the Earth's surface. And no, that isn't my words, as it's compiled.
So I had a question about duality, because I always think of duality as being more third dimensional. When we move to the fifth dimension, is there still a duality?
You're gonna have to be more clear on what duality is. They're saying like duality of what?
Black and white, good and bad, judgments.
Evil, good, yeah.
Okay,
Right.
ask your question again.
my understanding is there's more duality in the third dimension of like good and bad and judgments and those kinds. That's how I see duality, black and white.
Yes.
Whereas when we move to the fifth dimension, that begins to kind of shift.
that there is less controversy
Okay.
on the fifth level of consciousness if you choose to do so.
Okay.
Okay, so are you saying that humans they can still fight and act dumb?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So yes, this is what we're saying, as in the sense that your frame of mind will be less than what it is in the third realm. However, as you shift up to the fifth realm, the consciousness shifts to a higher level of understanding of human behavior and why humans do what they do. However, it does not take away free will. Free will is still there, and so free will can cause the controversy or that. And first they're saying beliefs. Okay, because there can still be a difference in beliefs. And
Okay.
some person can still believe, and they're laughing and saying, use politics as an example,
Okay.
to where you're still divided, and what's
Okay.
coming to me is gun
Right.
laws.
Right.
Because they're so extreme, either you want them or you
Right.
don't, it's either one way or another. But the belief system or the feelings, the emotional attachment that comes with I'm for guns or I'm against guns comes from the mind and that belief system. So
Okay.
if that belief system doesn't change or they're trained to believe a certain way, then they will still believe that way. What the difference is that the consciousness and the resilience of compassion and empathy will be on a different level than what it is today.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So in other words, it'll bother you less. You won't have an opinion so much one way or the other.
Yeah, but you can still have an opinion.
Right, you just,
Yeah. And again,
You get
you
upset
still
about
have
it.
free will.
right, you just don't get upset about it.
Not everybody,
Right.
though. It still depends on where you reside in your level of consciousness. And they're laughing and saying, okay, you have to explain that just because you have the fifth dimension, this is the fifth dimension, you still have layers of that dimension.
Gotcha.
So if you're at the lower level, so like you're at the higher level of the fourth dimension, but you're at the low end of the fifth dimension. And so you have to work your way up. So down here, where people are less conscious, the consciousness is still decreased from what a higher level of consciousness would be. That level of consciousness would still allow the influence of the ego and those outside forces that could be of the darker force or the negative nature to be influenced.
Less likely.
More likely if they're lower,
Lower.
and less if you're higher. Okay.
But you wouldn't stay at a level, would you?
No, it's
Fluctuate.
continual growth.
Right.
If you choose to. It's the same old. We have free will. So if you get to this certain level and you're like, okay, I'm good. This is where I want to stay, then you can shut everything off and you can stay there. Just like in the third dimension right now. How many people do we know that are like, no, I'm good. I don't need to change or accept that this is changing within me. I'm fine the way I am. We're all good. So there's your free will that's allowing you to cut everything off and stay right where you are. So you still have that ability. They're laughing and saying, use it like school. Okay, so even though, like school, you have the choice of going to kindergarten. Now, a kindergartner doesn't have a choice necessarily, the parents do. But as you start kindergarten, you can make the decision to learn or not learn. You can make the decision to go to the second grade, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then go as far as you want to go. That's your decision. You can do that. Nothing is forcing you to say you have to continue on. You can choose to stop anywhere you want to.
True. That's good example.
For always, or will something happen to expand you one way or the other? Like, because if the universe is always expansion, well, I mean, isn't some going to boot your butt out of wherever you are at some point?
Only if you choose to listen.
Oh, really?
You have to recognize, once again, we're talking about free will. You
Yeah, yeah.
still have free will.
Okay.
So you still have the factors of fear. You still have those ego factors as well. So if you're afraid to change, you'll cut that, and I'm saying it's like you'll cut that cord off, and you'll say, this is it, this is as far as I'm going. Everything around you will be shifting, everything around you will be shifting and changing to a higher vibration. If one chooses to hold back and stay at the lower dimensional realms, it'll cause a struggle and it will be difficult for them to adjust. And because it's almost like everything around you is changing. It's like, oh, they're saying, okay, use a cell phone, for example. Boy, they are full of examples. Okay, they're saying use the cell phone, for example. Okay, everybody in here, you may be too young. Did you have a phone, a landline phone?
Yes.
You're such a-
Even the one with this way.
The
you
dial,
have to-
okay,
yeah.
okay. So recognize that when, like, we're all coming from one place. So like we all started with the phone, the rotary dial phones, and you picked it up. Well, then everything around us started changing. All of a sudden, cell phones were invented. All of a sudden, I don't guess it was all of a sudden. But
Well, there was the
cell
push-button
phones,
phone, there was the
yeah,
push-button
the
phones.
bag phones. These cell phones started coming. Well, now everybody has shifted and adjusted to accommodate that change. The cell phone. There's not very many people now that have landlines now. So we've changed with what's going on around us and with the universe. But there's still those little stubborn people that are like, I'm not using a cell phone. I'm going to stick with this old rotary dial phone. And those are the ones that are going to be staying behind. Those are the ones that are refusing. And what they'll do is that they'll build shields around themselves to prevent the vibration and the love and the concentration to come into them, and then they'll be the ones that are struggling because they'll be living in a world and a consciousness that is altered to live in the old way. And so they'll be struggling with it's like they'll be saying, why are you so happy? Why are you so at peace? I'm not, I'm crazy. I didn't get what I wanted, or I didn't get, the job or whatever it is. To where when you're at a certain level, you have the understanding, I didn't get that job because it wasn't meant for me to be. So I'm at peace and everything is fine. But the other ones that don't get that and understand that and are resisting will create more struggles in their life because they're not allowing that flow to come through. The whole purpose, that the intentional reasoning behind raising the vibrational consciousness of the universe and as the earth plane rises is to create harmony amongst all and to open the heart in a more loving, caring manner so that the heart resists the temptation of hatred or anger, and that the human love and compassion will reside upon all planes and all dimensions, and the earth will be saved as well. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
So, I have a question about the 100th monkey theory then. There's a belief system that at some point enough people believe a certain way so it'll help shift everyone, like the monkeys that wash their things and then all of a sudden all the monkeys were washing. So can they give us information on that?
The vibrational content of a human being is retroactive. For example, as you are all sitting in this room today, you all have a similar vibration. That vibration attracts one another. As, do I have to use myself? Okay, you guys, I'm sorry. Tell me. Lisa is the example of being a higher vibrational being, which I'm not sure of that because I'm very human. But the vibration that is transferred and is emanated goes out into the aspects of the universe in which they're talking about, like in this earthly plane. and is absorbed and admitted into the body that is willingly accepting to a higher vibrational of consciousness. Does that make sense?
Yes. I'm not sure I
Okay.
answered that question, but,
Well, and it's you're contagious.
okay.
So what I'm saying is, like, if I'm standing here, and how I always see this light that's around us is almost like a fog.
Okay.
That is, it's like a white mist, but there's those little water particles, that creates that fog.
Mhm.
That's kind of our energy pattern.
Mhm.
And those little energy, little pellets or water droplets, however you want to understand it, can actually float over and be absorbed. It's almost like your essence
Sure.
is spreads,
Right.
and it becomes within the beings that are around you, if they're willing to accept it.
Right.
Now, if they don't, and they have their
Right.
barriers up, then they'll back away. But typically, if there is some kind of understanding, and like we said, we're all of a like mind, and that all of that energy will be absorbed because we want it, we're actually craving it.
Right.
And the more that we want it, the more that it will be coming to you. So if there's one individual that's in a room
Mhm.
that's emitting
Mhm.
that love and light, you're basically calling it in. You're
Mhm.
saying, I want some of that. And that comes to you
Mhm.
in a way that's not readily seen by the human eye. So as the theory that you're asking about, what we're saying to you is that yes, if you have one monkey that is holding up the earth, you have one monkey that's holding up the earth, and another monkey says, hey, I think I want to help, is going to come and help. And then it multiplies, and then you've got all 100 monkeys holding up the earth.
Okay.
It's that commonness that they see or they feel something that they're attracted to, and they will gravitate towards that.
Okay.
Does that
I'm
answer
just
your
wondering
question?
if it took a certain amount of people to shift us to a higher dimension, and then that would everybody would be on that fifth dimensional, the high
Yeah,
level.
they're laughing and saying,
Right.
we have to do one at a time right now.
Okay.
There's not
Just checking.
enough. There's
Okay.
not enough people that have shifted to that consciousness.
I got you. But
So-
is it possible if enough shift to that consciousness that
Yes.
that we'll catch the rest of them up
Yeah.
automatically?
Yeah, if they choose to do so.
If they
Yes.
choose to do so.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's, they're laughing, but you have to start in small doses,
I got
like a
you.
room like this.
Right.
And so the more that we 10 people feel that and know that resonance, then it starts, when you go to work, it starts resonating with people that you surround yourself with, and then it does start to spread in ways that we can't actually understand, but there's something that if somebody that may not know you that well is attracted to you for some reason,
Okay.
then it'll come in, and because they'll be saying, I want to know what she has, I want that love that she has. They open themselves up, and then whatever's emitting from you will be absorbed by that person. So there is an effect that,
Okay.
it's a cumulative effect is what I'm hearing.
Cool.
I think it is pretty intense, though, the vibration, because I've had a couple of people say to me that they just feel a shift going on, and they're not people that hang out in circles like this who would normally say something like that, so.
They're
It
laughing,
feels
saying,
like-
we agree with you. Yes, it's the common mind that is getting more and more of understanding that something's shifting and changing. They just don't know what it is.
Mhm.
Your toe's very appealing all of a sudden.
You're probably thinking,
I have a question. Is there any place for anger as far as movement to a righteous indignation, or a place to move something, the power of that? Not, is there any place for that? Or how do you make a change or make a movement without a little bit of that fire?
I don't understand. Are you talking about within you, or are you talking about fear going to like a specific realm, or you have to be more specific on what your question is.
In making a difference in the world. I mean, not me, but people. We have the human emotion of anger. A lot of people use it for ego reasons, but some people use it for higher reasons, you know, to not, oh, now they're gonna not have animal, experimentation soon, you know, so that was a feeling of, you know, kind of, oh, that's just wrong, you know, to try to fix that.
It's a passion that lies within the individual that will drive them forward.
Oh, okay.
They're saying, don't discount that people still don't have purposes that they're to achieve. Okay? So for the example that you used with the righteousness of living creatures, and they're even saying, and even human beings that have been abused, there is a willingness or compassionate within those human beings that push themselves forward to take care of or to eliminate that hatred and abuse towards those that are less than. There's still that purpose and there's still that thing. It doesn't, what I'm getting is that it doesn't mean just because you shift your consciousness, it doesn't mean that you'll become numb.
Okay.
Okay? It doesn't mean that you'll have no feelings, no passion. You still have the understanding of what you feel is right or wrong.
Right.
And again, that's where that free will still come in. What the difference is you'll be a little bit more at peace in the way that you handle situations. You love one another more than what you ever have before, and et cetera, et cetera. There's changes that are staying behind, and it's the ego. Okay, so the ego is not necessarily a bad thing all the time. It just depends on how you use it. But the ego is a relevant example in what we wish to stay behind in the third realm and won't elevate. When the ego is not involved and there is not self-righteousness or stoicness or I'm better than you behind the motive of what's being done or believed, that's the case that we want. That's where we want to be on the fifth dimension. So you can still be passionate and care about, I'm seeing like human rights situations. You can still care and love, you know, but know that this isn't right. So I'm going to stand up for where my heart stands. And this person isn't being treated the way we should all be treated, because obviously we have a different belief now, because we're not trying to overpower anybody or control anyone at this point. And that's what will be the difference, is that you're coming from a different place. You're coming more from your heart and the consciousness that we're all equal. And so when you see something that is an injustice, you not necessarily you, but whoever chooses to do so will still stand up for that injustice. Okay? So make sure that we're not going to all walk around like zombies and love each other. It's not that way. You know, but our mind and our shifting and our knowing is what's going to be different. We're still going to be driving cars. We still do it. You know, people are still going to run red lights. You know, people are still going to speed. I mean, there's still that stuff that's going to happen. But our emotions are going to be different. Our thought patterns are going to be different. Our humanness will be different. Okay?
Okay. You ready to move on to the interdimensional? What are you referring to as interdimensional? What does that mean?
When we discuss interdimensional, we are discussing all of the levels of knowing, of the consciousness that resides within all. Basically what you call the dimensions, we call realms, the realms of all possibilities. And as you travel from the realms, from the lowest, and they're saying, yes, you need to say it. I was told the other day that there's 27 dimensions. And
I was going to ask how many.
Yeah, and I think Wilhelmina has only heard of 24. So I don't know where the 27 came from. They're laughing and saying, it came from us, we told you. Okay. Okay. So as you travel from dimension 1 or realm 1 up, that interdimensional travel or knowing of each dimension, they're saying, like, you go back to the use of the portals. So as you as you use a portal and you are transmitted from this earthly realm to a different realm of consciousness, you have traveled interdimensionally because you've gone from one to another. Kind of like international, they're saying. International travel.
No, we're moving from, gotcha. So what are the interdimensional changes that will be occurring in humans in the physical form?
As humans grow and expand their level of consciousness, they will become more obtainable to the transfer of location. As you become more aware of your ability to gain information, Southern came out there, information from different levels of consciousness and knowledge, you will begin to understand more about what this travel is. I completely lost what you said. What was the question?
What are the interdimensional changes occurring in humans in the physical?
Okay, so that's what they're saying. Easier travel. Travel will become easier in a way that you will begin to recognize your resonance with the universe. And as you begin to see that there is more than just this that's on the surface, and your resonance, which is your vibration, begins to vibrate at levels that are above your existence, you will be more readily willing to transfer or transmit to the realms that you vibrate or resonate with. So as the changes occur within these different dimensions that are increasing in vibration throughout the universe, the humans also are changing in vibration as well to resonate with this vibration that we are calling the consciousness of the universe, so that it makes it easier to travel.
Physically makes it easier to travel?
It's all on an energetics. I mean, your body is not going to be traveling.
Well, so I was confused with the question then. So interdimensionally, how are we going to change physically?
Physically, because your vibration is going to change.
So the vibration in my physical body will shift, and that will
allow the energetic spiritual body to transfer more easily.
Okay.
Yes.
How do you get to those realms?
Okay, hang on.
Okay. Wait. Let me ask the questions.
Well, does this have to do with our, people talk about our DNA going from 2-strand to 12-strand?
No, that's something different. It's not. It's okay, because we're talking about the resonance and the vibrational congruency that exists between all levels. Okay, so it doesn't have anything to do with that.
Okay.
So the next question is similar, but it's asking how the interdimensional changes will be affecting then the mental part. And then it also asks about the spiritual part. I don't know if
And we'll get back to your question.
Yeah, because it's all similar there.
Yeah, so ask me the first question again.
What is the interdimensional changes that are occurring in humans that will affect the mental? We did the physical. Now, how is it going to affect us mentally, the interdimensional change?
It's changing your thought patterns. So as the changes that are occurring interdimensionally, which is the vibrations, these vibrations at the higher frequencies, as they are admitted, what it's like, you're letting it be admitted into your mind.
Okay.
As it's being admitted, it's changing your thought patterns. It's changing the DNA. That's what
said.
Yeah. So, but it's different than what you were just referring to as the DNA will be changing and resonating more high frequent. You got me confused. The DNA will be changing within the human body to allow the frequency to increase. And as that frequency increases, those thought patterns that are in the mind and that old training and the old beliefs are being released in ways that humans don't necessarily understand at this time.
Okay. Anybody have a question on that? Then the next question is, what are the interdimensional changes that are occurring in the humans that will affect the spiritual part of us?
The highest vibration in existence is in the existence of God, the all-knowing. And as you recognize that at that highest dimension, which we call the 27th dimension, or the 27th level of consciousness, is the highest vibration in existence. As that vibration goes down through the different levels, it decreases and decreases and decreases and decreases. What we want you to know is that all humans have the ability to gain the consciousness of the universe. This is what we want for you. We want you to understand that on that 27th dimension level of consciousness is all that is. This is what we want. We want for you to be able to gain that knowing and that understanding that all is connected, and that as individuals, you each are connected to everything that is in existence. This is the spiritual belief, the spiritual understanding that God is the creator of all that is, and we are all connected as we are the recipients of his gene pool. Okay, what? Where did that come from? So the spirituality that is gained through the recognition of this highest frequency shifts and changes the mind and the body to that more spiritual understanding of the connectedness. Okay, so what my understanding is with all of this, all these shifts and changing, is that what all the universe wants is for us to understand that we are love. Love resides within us, and that we are all connected. And once we can obtain that understanding, that's the spiritual understanding, then our vibration increases insurmountable. And you have that frequency going up to those dimensions. We're not going to reside in those dimensions, but you have the ability to have the knowledge and all the information that is in each one of those dimensions. And that's what you can obtain by gaining that understanding that we are all one and that we are pure love, which is God's message. Okay.
So if we're at the 5th dimension, we got 22 more to go.
It's not necessary for you to think of numbers or as in that route of you have to achieve all. What we want you to do is gain an understanding of where you are today and work through that process. Okay? Because everybody's at different levels. Where we all are. And there's only so much that we can accept and change, and, those struggles.
So enjoy the journey, not the destination.
Yeah, exactly. Don't look at I have to get there, because you can only. I mean, if you look at, they're saying if you look at a child that has had many restrictions and obstructions that have been given to them, and we're talking about on the soul level. So if you look at a very abused soul that has been through many lifetimes and a lot of different baggage issues, and beliefs and thought patterns, they're at a different level than somebody that has had a lot of clearing and may not have had the same experience. We're all at different levels. And so as the person that is cleared more from their soul and the blockages, then that person is going to be able to do more. They're lacking in saying, but that person has probably had more lifetimes of clearing than that individual that we were just referring to. And so they have to start clearing from a different level. They got more stuff than what somebody else does, so it's going to take this person that has less. They're going to be able to go up faster than this person that has 50 things that they have to clear out and deal with and get out of their head and all that stuff than this person.
But there's no comparison.
There is no comparison. Absolutely not.
It's saying you don't judge a kindergartner because they're in kindergarten or a high school, college student because that's where they are. That's just on they're just on their
Exactly
process.
right.
We're
And
all
that's,
shifting.
and that's
Right.
why, that is why the universe is saying to you that you must understand the concept of unconditional love, that loving from within, and that knowing that we are all connected. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who is sitting next to you. If you love them, respect them, and connect with them in a way that is more than just on the surface, you know that you will love them regardless of where they are or what they're doing. That's what this is all about. So it doesn't matter if they're the highest level spiritual being or if they're the lowest, because we are all connected. We're all the same. And that's what this is all about, is being able to accept one another without disregard or judgment, and just knowing that we are all one. We're all one. Do you not get it? Yes, we get it. So yeah, I don't think you need to say it again. We got it. But that's the understanding, is that, again, when you love unconditionally and you understand that you're truly connected, you gain an understanding of what level everything. And they're showing me, like, even a plant, anything like a blade of grass. When you can understand that you are connected to everything that exists, not just humans, not just in this room, not just on this earthly level. When I'm connected to that blade of grass out there, I love it and respect it and honor it for the job that it's doing and for its journey and for who it is. So that's where we're trying to get to. They're laughing and saying, no, this is where what we're trying to get you to. So.
Okay. So I have a question, like when someone is told, you're like a 7th or 8th dimensional being in this 3rd dimensional body. What, can you explain that? What does that mean?
They're laughing and saying, we recognize that this is a human thing, that they have to label everything, and
Yes.
this is not necessarily so in a way that we look at it. We don't look at it the same way as you look at it.
Okay.
That's terminology that is irrelevant to us. However, what you are referring to is that the vibrational resonance is typically the same at that 7th level dimension, and it's easy for that individual to receive information from that level, which is usually the top level that they can receive information from.
Okay.
They resonate with
Okay.
that level, and so it's easier for them to receive the information
Gonna be more
from that
exact.
level because
Okay.
they resonate that way.
Makes sense.
So that's what we call it
Okay.
when we call a 7th dimensional being.
Gotcha. Okay. So, I don't know whether to ask this or not, but I'm going to ask it anyway because it came to me. So, can they tell us what dimension they are channeling from?
What dimension they are what?
They're channeling from.
I
Where's
was
the
wondering
information
what-
coming from? I know, change your question and ask where it's coming from.
Okay,
Where's the information coming from?
where's the information coming from? that
The
you-
highest level of existence that has been created. We are above the 27th dimension, and we are providing the information down through all of the levels of consciousness in order for you to receive this information in a way that you can understand. We are the gods of the universe. We are the presence of all that is. We are the guides that have been instructed to help you and your knowledge in order to move forward into the future. This is the gift that we have been given you to be able to reside within this space, which means radiant living right now, and receive our information.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking that.
Appreciate that.
Yes, I recognize this isn't the Akashic Records, guys. By the way.
Okay. I think we've answered all the questions on interdimensional. Anybody else have something on that?
You had the portal.
Yeah,
The
how
portal
do we get-
question?
Yeah, how do we get there? How do we, like,
Okay, did you, is that?
Yeah, I
portal
haven't,
question?
I was just kind of covering all the interdimensional
Okay,
questions.
yeah,
The
so
next
is that
questions
portal?
have to do to the portals,
Okay.
yeah. What are portals and how can they be used?
Portals are energetic devices that have been used to be able to transfer from one realm to another. This is what we use, okay, so for like what you would call a door, like a door to go outside, we use portals that you would walk through either energetically or receive information from. It can either come to us or we go to it. These are the doors to consciousness. Did that answer the question?
It did for me, I guess everyone else. What are their purpose?
To transfer energy and knowledge through the different realms of possibilities in order for you as humans to gain consciousness and grow.
Why do we need them?
They're laughing again and saying, to grow.
Okay. I kind of already answered it, but I had to ask it.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So, can we travel back and forth between realms to gain information, or is it sequential? Does that make
Yeah, you can
sense?
go to back and forth.
Back and forth.
Yeah, and they kind of said that in that first thing that I gave you. What we want you to know and understand is that if you are ready for the information, we will take you as far as you are ready to go. Okay, and they're saying this is answering your question too, in a way. Okay, what you want to know is, can you travel through the portals in order to gain information and what they're for? That's not really what your question was, though. I don't
No,
know
I
why-
just,
they're-
that was her question.
I know, but I don't know, they're focusing on you right now for some reason. They're like,
Yeah,
okay,
well, yeah.
apparently this is, you
Yeah.
need to know this information. Oh, because you have done traveling, you've done time traveling before. Did you know
Something
that?
in there, yes.
Okay, that's funny. Okay, that's why they're like, you need to know this. Okay, so what you need to know is that if an individual is ready for information, they will have the ability to travel to the realm which can provide the information that they need to hear, or they're ready to hear. If you're not ready, you don't get to go, okay? You can't skip from, the 5th dimension up to the 10th dimension.
You can?
No, you have to, for knowledge,
Oh.
to understand, like, you can go there, but you're not gonna get anything there, because you're not ready. You can't, it's like learning how to do math. You have to learn how to add before you can learn how to do multiplication table or division. So you have to be ready to receive the information. They can't just start providing high level of consciousness or information or understanding to somebody that doesn't understand everything that's in between there.
So you
Like-
do have to understand everything that's in between there before you get there.
Have a general understanding.
Because you know how sometimes we're stronger in one area and weaker in others, so I didn't know if we could get higher
You may
information.
not get
for
every bit,
certain
okay,
areas, but-
they're wanting me to make sure that you understand that there's not like 100 items of information on each realm,
Okay.
and you get all 100 items. Whatever you're ready for and whatever is needed for you,
The one
you will
item.
obtain, because there may be stuff that you don't need, or
Right, okay.
that won't benefit you or may do more damage. Then you're just gonna get what you need, and then when you're ready, you can go to the next realm, and then you'll gain the information that you need in that realm to grow and to continue on. Okay?
Is there ever a point we would go back to the lower realm too?
You always
See
will.
something else? Okay.
You always will.
Okay, I was wondering.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, look, we're gonna go to you because I keep putting you off.
You're fine.
Okay, so, they're saying, you and I need to talk about the time travel thing.
Let's do that, yes.
Okay, so we'll do it. They're laughing and say, no, you can go ahead and do it now, because you all need to know
Yeah, we're
what
all
you're
here.
talking about.
Yes.
Okay, there's a level of existence that resides within the universe that can reverse in time or move forward into the future. And this is what we are referring to. You have the ability to walk into a room and choose a specific event that you want to travel back to. And you will create the portal or the option to be able to go into that time frame or that time realm that you're looking for. And it's almost like going back into past lives. Like you can say, I want to go back to the 1500s when I was existing there. And you can create a portal for you to be able to transfer into it. And they're saying that past life regression, past life experience has a lot to do with those portals. That we have the ability to do that more than what you realize. If you have a good guidance, a good teacher that can help guide you through that, you can do it on a regular basis. You have the ability to do it without the help. Okay? So but they wanted you all to know about the time portal thing. And so I don't know why they're really focusing on you for some reason about that specific thing. And so I'm sorry, you guys, I don't mean to point anybody out, but for whatever reason, they're
We all needed to
telling
know
me.
it.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody knew about time portals. So, I think that's kind of interesting.
It is.
Okay, Merle, you had a question?
Yeah, I'm curious. Did I open a portal last night?
No.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay, what can I tell him about? They're smiling and say, just tell him it was a gift from God. Okay, and that's good enough. They're saying.
That works for me?
Yeah. Okay.
I think you've kind of already answered it, but the next question is, well, I don't know. Did you answer why do we need portals?
No, I don't think I did. Did I? Did
Kind
I?
of.
No.
Kind of, but go ahead and say it again.
They're laughing and saying to do time travel and to grow.
Okay.
So apparently they're focusing on the time travel now, and they're laughing and saying it's important to do the time travel in order to clear out the past.
Okay.
If there are issues that you're harboring from past lives, it's relevant to be able to transfer back and recognize and forgive whatever that is that's holding you back in the present. So that's what those portals are for. The
Okay.
portals that we were talking about earlier are simply for gaining knowledge and understanding of what the universe is and what has all been created and how it's been created.
Okay.
Is the book or the movie Cloud Atlas worth watching?
They're laughing and saying, what? We know nothing of this movie.
I've seen the movie. It's 4 or 5 people, and it goes through time as one guy's a Pacific Islander, I think, with his friend, and the white slavers come, and his friend is hauled off to be a slave, and the one guy hides. Well, he carries that guilt with him through multiple lifetimes till he resolves that. And so it takes 4 people and shows how we make choices. It's not a judgment from God, but you carry whatever that energy is till you resolve it.
Souls.
And this is a fact.
Souls growth,
This
yeah.
is
So
you.
if
Was that the
somebody's
name of the
interested,
movie,
it's
or
a
is
good
that-
movie to watch.
Oh, I don't know the name of the
It'd
movie.
be a good movie if we could get it on
Sure.
to watch here.
Cloud Atlas.
Cloud Atlas.
It's, that which you
Netflix,
state
I
is
think.
accurate in the description of the past life baggage that humans carry into this world.
Okay. If I can find it, I'll buy it.
Cool. Sounds good.
So, back to the question I asked earlier about portals. There are different locations on the planet that are called portals that people travel to and have experiences at. But, can a portal be something it doesn't have to be at those places. It can be anywhere, or it can be us.
Yes, yes.
You can ask for
Yes.
the portal.
Yes, yes. And you can create what you need. If you simply ask the universe for the information that needs to be provided in order for you to grow and to move forward in the future, you can simply say, help me. And that information will be transmitted to you through a portal. So you may not even, what I'm understanding is that the way that I see a portal is that it's almost like a drawing of a tornado, and that you can step into that portal and it would surround you, and like what I'm seeing is like it almost, you become one with that energy force, but you don't have to go through it that way. It can be simply channeled down through you. And this channel, I see this a lot in people that are receiving information, that I can see a light that's coming down. That's a form of a portal. Didn't know that, so thank you for asking that question. If there's an energy transfer or a shift of knowledge or an exchange of vibrational rate, it could very well and very possibly come through a portal to you specifically. It was a door opening to give you that information. And no, you don't have to, you can be sitting right there right now and do that. And they're laughing and saying, and for an example, we're going to do this for all of you in a short moment.
Oh,
Yay. Okay.
So, one more question on the portals. Are there benefits to planet Earth for having these portals? Is
Yes,
it doing
ma'am.
the same thing with its consciousness?
Yeah.
Because it's a sentient being, so.
The Earth actually has its own portals as the universal consciousness that has been created encompasses all that is. This, okay, they're jumping ahead. I've got two stories. Okay, the Earth has the portals to receive the consciousness of the universe because the Earth needs it as well. What is transitioning and transpiring at this moment is that the energy that is fluctuating in the universe is residing within the core of the Earth at this moment. This is why there have been so many earthquakes, volcano eruptions, hurricanes, the natural eruption of the Earth. That energy that's coming in is causing it to shift and change. So the Earth is changing its vibration and its presence just like we are.
Right.
And that's how it's getting its information. It's getting the direct information and how to change and what it needs to do. And that information is coming down into the portals into the Earth. Yeah, that's interesting.
So the earth changes and the melting ice are all part of that whole.
They're laughing and saying, no, the melting ice is not all part of. That was man's creation.
Oh,
Yeah. See how I start crying again? Holy cow! Yeah, they're upset about the Earth, and the humans that are residing upon the Earth they are taking for granted what is present at the moment and do not recognize the existence of the universe and how this Earth is so relevant to all that is. And it was talking about, in that first statement about the cohesiveness and that it's in balance right now. However, we're creating an imbalance. And this is why it's also important for us humans to gain the consciousness and understanding and compassion that as you begin to recognize that we are one, you are one with the Earth and all that resides upon it. You honor the Earth, you cherish what it is and what it provides, and you have not done this as humans. You have hurt us greatly in the abundance of abuse that has taken place. That makes me cry again.
will it get fixed?
They're saying not in this lifetime. Okay, so when you're talking about lifetime, what are you referring to in your human lifetime? In our lifetime, we'll pass away before it's corrected. However, what you recognize is that if you change and you shift in your consciousness and your understanding and stop what you're doing at this point, you can set in motion, you will set in motion what changes need to occur. Because our consciousness will also change in understanding that don't throw your trash out on the road. You know, don't deplete the earth of its natural resources. You know, don't block all the water. You know, the earth needs water to exist. All that exists on the earth needs water. Don't destroy it. You know, so it's as our minds and our consciousness changes to become more aware of how to fix these things or repair is what they're saying. Then it'll take place. However, the damage that has been done has been so extensive at this time that it will take a great amount of time to repair all that is. However, we are not giving up, and we want you to understand that the change needs to take place at some point, and we hope it's now. Yeah, they're crying again. Yeah.
So are the younger people are now kind of concerned about this, so maybe that's our hope.
It is. Yes, it is, and that's what they're saying. Yes.
A lot of younger people are buying plastic bottles.
Yeah. Well, and what I'm getting is that they came into this earth 20-year-olds and less, 20-year-olds and less, or lesser in age, came into this earth with the understanding that they have to save it. It came from the human consciousness of the universe. The universe put that knowing in them. So they came in with that desire.
Good.
Thank goodness.
Good. So there's hope.
Wow. Okay, we're ready to move into the galactic questions.
I think so.
All right. Who and what is the galactic force?
The galactic force is many entities that reside upon the earthly plane and all that resides around it, which means everything up and down and everything around. What we want you to know about the Galactic Federation is that it is here and in place to help the humans and the earth and all of its existence to move forward in the light and in the direction that is reciprocated from God's force. They work hand in hand. God wants you to know that, and when I'm saying God, I'm like seeing like millions of entities, and all those entities are considered as God. Okay? What God wants you to know is that what resides upon the earth is charged by the humans and the galactics. The galactics are taking their time in spending helping the humans move forward in the direction, the space and the direction that God has mandated. The galactics are God's helpers. They are the ones that help foresee the future and to move into the direction that is needed in order to accomplish the goals. Did that answer?
Yeah, it might have answered the second question, which is how are they helping us?
Okay. Well, I can, they're like, wait, you can say
Okay.
more.
All right, that's fine. Thank
How are
you.
they helping us?
Yeah.
They're an invisible force. Okay, so they're wanting me to explain. They're an invisible force because there are levels of galactic beings on every realm of consciousness, and you don't necessarily see them. There have been galactic beings that have been seen by humans, so don't get us wrong. But what we're stating in this specific act is that on every dimensional realm, there is a force that is assigned a job and a duty to manage that specific realm and the knowledge that is obtained within it. And as this is so, as the human species travels between and among the realms, there is a force of galactic beings that will take them by the hand and apply the knowledge that is needed at that time. They are the helpers that will give you the knowledge that will free you from the conscious mind. And the conscious mind meaning the mind that's right here, right now. I call it the unconscious mind,
Right.
you know,
The third
so,
dimensional mind.
yeah.
And that includes angels and stuff.
No, angels are helpers of God. They're in their own right. A galactic being is a force that is from a different location or a different a different universe, a different galaxy, different places that are upon. They're almost more like a human. An angel is a spirit. It's a spiritual being that's different. Okay.
So when asking to move through different dimensions, to ask for, that's to tap into the intergalactic. Those are the helpers.
It is. But what you need to recognize is that they work together hand in hand. They understand what duties need to be done. However, you have spiritual helpers, which we are, that will guide you and there, I'm not getting the word, but I can see it. It's like they're inputting the information in you. Your spiritual guides are inputting the information into you.
Okay.
The galactic guides are there to help you it's almost like they're there to guide you through, like they're taking you by the hand and saying, okay, this is where you need to go now. But the spiritual beings are the ones that are providing the information and increasing the vibration that is within you. So the spiritual and the galactics work hand in hand in creating the entire universe into what it should be and what it's been created to be. Does that make sense? Okay.
Okay, so.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, since you said that, this is my own question, since you said that there are galactics on every dimension, are there angels and spiritual beings on every dimension?
Yes.
Okay.
And I see like there's like again there's a it's like this line. They're saying use it like an elevator. The spiritual beings go in and out. Okay, so they come and go.
Right.
But the galactic beings stay specifically on their
That
route.
galactic being that's on that dimension.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can travel through all that is. Our ability is to be here, there, and everywhere.
Okay.
The beings that you are speaking of have specific duties, and I'm seeing like the changing of the guard, like the guards in London that have that specific
Right.
job of guarding, and they're standing at attention.
Right.
That's more like what the galactic beings
Okay.
are.
Right. Okay.
They're the protectors of the universe.
Okay. We've already answered some of these questions. Do we interact with galactics?
Yeah, on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you give me specifics on examples? How?
Sometimes when you hear a voice in your ear, a soft whisper, it can either come from a galactic or a spiritual being. What your job is to do is to determine which one or not care.
Do the galactics help? Do the
Do what they
galactics?
say, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I will say, like in that first thing that we did, it said specifically that the galactics were a sovereign being and they're here to help us. That's the message.
Right.
The galactic force is more to guide you in the direction that you need to go. So they're not going to tell you, they're laughing and saying, use the Akashic records as an example. Okay, so like if we're talking about an event that happened in your life in the past, and you're asking me about why did this happen or whatever, that's spiritual.
Okay.
That information is coming from a spiritual source. The galactics can't provide that type of information.
Okay.
But if you're needing to live your everyday life and you need to make a choice or a decision to go left or right, or purchase something or not purchase something, or they need to gently nudge you in a direction that will take you to a higher level of consciousness physically, then they can kind of manipulate you and guide you into where you need to be, the right place at the right time, type of thing. Well, that's good to know. I didn't know that.
So they're, I'm sorry, so they're invisible beings like the angels and the others? So I mean, I might feel them basically, but.
If you're sensitive enough, you can know. I mean, like right now. Stop. Okay, like
I'm giving you an example.
Oh, jeez, yes, I get it. Okay, like right now, I can feel a face that's next to me,
Okay,
and like he's coming up behind me and he's brushing against me.
okay.
Yeah, go away. Yeah. Okay, I get it. But yeah, so it's like if you're sensitive enough and you're in tune.
Okay,
I mean, like people that are real sensitive to energy.
Right.
Know, like you know how we are.
right,
You can feel something that's brushing up against you, or you can feel that
okay,
like talking to you kind
right,
of thing.
okay.
And they're standing there behind you or beside you, and
Okay.
they're giving you that information. But there's not everybody's as sensitive as we are. So
Okay.
you may feel them and you may not, but you're going to get a knowing in some way, shape, or form that's directing you, and you're like, I don't know where this is coming from, but I guess this is where I need to go.
Okay.
That may be a being that's guiding you.
Are they all like of love and light?
They're laughing and saying, the ones that will help you are. The guides that you are asking for and asking about, the guides that reside, they're calling them guides, that reside upon the realms of the universe are here to help. Again, they're going back to their sovereign beings. There is an existence of those that are not of the same virtue, but what we are referring to you are those that are specifically in the specific realms that we have mentioned.
With my eyes closed, I've seen some stuff when I'm and then obviously,
They're laughing and saying, just because they're ugly doesn't mean they're bad.
That's your perception, yeah.
Okay, that's so funny.
Goodbye. I don't know about you. Go on.
That's funny. They're not all pretty like you, they said.
So do the ones that serve as our guides or as galactic beings for this time, do they choose to do this, or are they appointed, or?
They're appointed. They have specific duties.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Well, and then can they move, like if are they on their own personal growth level as well? I mean, if they're, say they're on the first dimension, then do they, do enough helping, then they
They're
move?
assigned, they know everything. They're already,
okay.
they're already highly evolved beings that
Okay.
know and understand how the universe works. That's why they're assistants.
Okay,
It's, again, they're saying, use like the military, like the guards at Buckingham Palace. They're very highly evolved people, basically, but they have a specific job that they have to do, and that is guarding the castle. Same thing. The Galactics are knowledgeable and understanding of how the universe works and what is transpiring within the universe. They have to know this in order to understand their duty. And their duty is to help the human race become more than what it is.
So if you want to elevate to a higher position in service or something like that, is the intergalactics, because that's their appointed job. It's them to tap into, actually, isn't it? If you want to shift into a different service, because they're here to protect the universe,
Okay, I'm not sure I'm understanding. what you're
opposed to angelic tribes.
No,
Whatever
that's
they-
incorrect. No. What you want to know is what the source of information is that you need to go to in order to gain the consciousness of the universe. That in order to gain the information that we're providing from you, remember where the source of information is coming from. God. Yeah. And as you reside and understand in that state, you'll understand that, once again, the Galactics are serving as a military force, so to speak, and that they're doing their duty. They are not specifically there to raise your vibration or your consciousness or increase your growth. They're helpers. Okay? Is that what you're asking?
That's more information.
Okay.
Yes, that's great.
Okay.
So can we choose to be on in another galaxy? Or do we kind of just here?
They're laughing and saying, your
Right
human
now
body
you're
is
here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't get to leave. Not right now.
Okay.
You don't get to leave until you leave the Earth.
Yeah.
Um, you're-
But after that, I mean
you're-
forever, do we have to stick
your
in
soul,
this?
your soul has an opportunity to make that choice after it resides among the most gracious. What you will see and what you will do when you leave this earth is unknown to you at this time. However, there will be a point when you gain the consciousness and the understanding of how the universe works that you will recognize what form of being that you will be in and what you will reside in as, meaning that you can be many, many things, but you are not privileged to that information at this time.
Okay, so one more question. So does every human being then have a galactic, more or less, guide, as you were talking about, or?
They're laughing and saying, that's a tricky question,
Okay.
because not everybody needs them.
Okay.
The individuals that have been picked out specifically for specific tasks, referring to humans, if they need help and guidance because they're not listening so well, we will put a galactic on the earth in order to guide them. And it's basically because they have to be manhandled, is what I'm saying. Because sometimes they have to be grabbed by the shoulders and
Shaking.
yeah, or pushed around or done something that requires more force than what a simple vibration frequency would.
Like an angel that might tap me on the shoulder.
Yeah, might not be enough. So they put this guy that's over here that's talking in my ear and he's like putting his ugly face up next to me. He's like, "Don't be so mean to me." Don't be so mean. I'm sorry.
He said, "I'm sorry."
He's teasing. Yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit more pressure than just a simple nudge.
Okay, so, and I have another personal question, maybe not just for me, but anybody that does energy work and healing work. Do some of the Galactics help with healing work?
They're laughing, you know they do.
I know they do.
You silly girl, why are you asking such a question?
Because I want everybody else to know too.
But it's not everybody. You've been chosen specifically. You must understand that there's certain gifts and there's certain things, again, that the Galactics, their assignment, is maybe to heal.
Right.
And they're using you because you were chosen to help them. Because they can't put their hands on a human body, but you
Right.
can. So you were the one that was chosen to work through because you have that connection. And they're laughing and saying, because you're easy to work with.
Thank you. That's a compliment. Okay. Well, the next question, we've answered some of these. Do we interact with Galactics? Yes. What does all this have to do with spirituality and the shifts that are happening and coming?
As we have mentioned, with the frequency and the vibrational congruency is growing, this is all working together. As you can understand, the Galactics and the universe, the universal consciousness, which is God, works hand in hand. They are our helpers. They are our assistants, as we cannot always do all. You will soon see, as you become more aware of your surroundings, that they're helpers of many forms, shapes, sizes, and beings that assist you in your growth. And this is what we want you to know. The universe, again, is all one. We are all connected. The universal consciousness wants this realm to survive. They want this earthly realm to continue to exist in peace and harmony. And this is what the universal goal is at this time. And we're all working together.
Anybody have questions about that? How is any more information you want to give us about the galactic realms before I move on here?
They're saying it's not needed at this time.
Okay. How is the human body shifting and changing through all of this?
It is growing in consciousness and understanding as it shifts in knowledge. The more knowledge that's being gained of the universal existence, the common mind is shedding misbeliefs and untruths. That's number one. What number two is simply the fact that your body is becoming more resilient in a way that you can't see at this present time. It's shifting in a vibrational mode, which is creating the consciousness of all to be residing within each person's, human's body. As that consciousness resides to a higher level, it will create a shift in the cellular delineation that is occurring within each being. As the cells shift and change, the understanding of the body shifts and change. As you have all heard of, the body is shifting from a pliable existence, which I'm seeing like muscles and veins and all of that, into the light form, which what we are referring to is the crystalline body. And as you become the crystalline body, the cells change and they're creating a consciousness with the universe that resides differently than where your present state of being is before this shift occurs. The resonance within the crystalline being creates a higher vibration that can communicate with more of the universe than what the simple human body can. As that shift changes, the crystalline body becomes more resilient and more resistant to the human obstructions, such as diseases. Okay, so, and they're saying this is all we're going to discuss now. Because I'm getting the plasma body, my head's going to the plasma body, and they're saying just stop here because I don't need to be involved in that part. So we'll just stop at the crystal body. And this is all you need to know at this time. Okay.
So my question would be the higher we move in vibrational level, then the body, physical body, then the cells and everything are changing.
Yes, correct.
Is that correct? So we're moving, our vibrational level change, the physical body is changing to more of a crystalline body.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. You are right.
Okay. So I wanted
Do these
to-
get to go with us?
Yes.
Of course, they're way beyond us already.
yeah,
I'm sure,
sure.
Stevie. Yeah.
They're laughing and saying, you're an animal lover, aren't you?
Yeah.
And we honor you and are grateful for you for that frame of heart.
I think we already answered that part. So, anybody else have any more questions before I ask for the final thing? Anything else then that you want to share with us?
They're laughing. Yes. We want to bring the portals to you.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I forgot about that one.
Okay, is everybody cool with this?
Mm-hmm.
You guys know I do not have a clue what's going to happen. So if you guys have any resistance or you feel uncomfortable, then just don't do it.
So
Okay?
can you give us a little instruction? What are they going to do first before?
I don't know. Can you guys tell me what's happening? What we want you to do at this time is resist the common mind and allow yourself to be open to what's being given. And we will give you direction shortly.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, everybody comfortable? Is it warm in here to anybody?
Well, I turned it down because
anybody
everybody
warm?
was getting cold.
Are you okay?
Okay.
I'll turn it up one notch.
I may be having a hot flash.
Well, it's.
I'm old.
What's your
You've been working hard.
You're not old as 94.
You're doing all the work. We're under the vents over here.
Yeah, well, that's usually where I am. Okay, tell me what we're gonna do. That little guy. Gosh, why? He's laughing at me. He's like, I want to be your helper. Okay, sit over there and be still. Right over there. Quit getting in my ear. Gosh, make an itch. What we want you to do at this point is to recognize that you as human beings, are being given a great gift. And what this gift is that we want you to receive at this time is the acknowledgement and the understanding that you are one. You are one with all that is. The universe is creating an opening for you to be able to travel to the first level that you are able to exceed in, which means that to receive information, we're going to take you to the dimensional level, that realm that you need to be residing in for a short time to receive the information that will benefit your growth. Everybody okay with that? Okay. Okay, you guys, I'm hearing a really, really high-pitched sound, and I cannot repeat it, and they're saying I don't need to. It's resonating throughout this room, and it needs to be. So we're asking you at this point just to sit still, clear your mind, have no thoughts, no daydreams. Listen for just a moment, and we will guide you through. And right now I'm seeing there's a being behind everybody in here. And they are standing behind you, ready to help you and to guide you through these next steps. There may be a feeling, a tingling, maybe something that you will feel touch you. It's all okay. This is all safe. We are doing this to help you to grow as you are needed in order to help the universe. As you sit still, take a deep breath, hold it, and release. You will begin to recognize that there is a stream of light that is running down through your crown from the highest development in the realm of possibilities. You might feel this and you might not. Just know that it's there and we are giving this to you. What we're asking you to do is to allow your body to relax. Shift your shoulders down. Sit comfortably in your chair with your feet on the ground. As your feet reside upon the earth, the core universal consciousness is coming up from the floor into your being. At this point, you have the connection from the highest elements of the heavens and the deepest elements of the earth. You are now connected with both sources. as you reside within this space, you may feel a gentle shifting within your body. It might simply be a swirl of energy, a swirl of movement, a relaxation, a vibration, or you may simply not feel anything at all, but we want you to know that there is a transmission that is happening at this time. As you sit in peace, you feel your eyes become heavy. Your mind become clear. Your ears open. Your heart is beating. And you feel all. God is now asking you if you are ready. We want you to subconsciously answer that question. Since you are ready, we are allowing information and a clearing of old information to be submitted within your mind and your heart at this time. We are asking you to sit in peace and allow the transfer of information to begin. As you begin to move, you'll feel your feet on the earth. Feel your toes, your heels, your knees, your hips. Become aware that they are present and they are accounted for. You can feel them and you recognize them. Find the top of your head. Move down to your nose, your chin, your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, your fingertips. Feel them, recognize them, know that they are there. Go to your chest. Recognize your heart. What is different about your heart? Is there a difference in the way it feels? Is there a difference in the openness? Is there a difference in what it believes? What is it to you? Do you see your heart? Do you see the stars? Do you see the dark sky? Do you see the earth beneath your feet? Do you see the trees? Do you see the rocks? Do you see the lakes? Do you see the sun? Do you see the moon? Do you see the universal consciousness that resides in all? This is you. You are one. You are the love of humanity, the love of the consciousness. You are the universe. You are love. You are pure love. And this is what has been given to you. We wish you to know what has been given, so you never doubt who you are and who you have become. As this is the life that you live, you are one with all that is. In the presence of God, the universe, and all the helpers, we are all one. Absorb that knowing. Hold on to that knowing. Recognize that knowing. And you are one. God has given you the ability to move forward in the days to come. As you step lightly, one foot in front of the other, you will soon see that there is a change in your consciousness and that you have moved forward gracefully and easily, and you will feel that you have changed, and this is what we have given you. As we leave this surface, the presence of these beings, we recognize that you are an assistant to all that is as well. We ask for you to be present and to be open to the love that we give as you love back. We will simply say these words. You are one with all is one with you. You are infinite love, and you are the possibility of all. We love you, you love us, and we love truly and unconditionally, as you will soon learn to abide by the same. Our love to you. And whenever you're ready, did anybody have any experiences? Was it a good face?
Yeah.
A happy one? Not scary. Did it give you peace?
Yeah. And they gave me a little sense
Shifted your throat. Your voice will be speaking words that you are not familiar with. You have a question about that?
just gonna marinate on it.
Marinate on
Right here and up here.
What a process. It's tied in together.
Well, I just felt this warmth, and I just started crying. It was just so much love. And then toward the end, I felt this movement right through here. And I went, oh, there you are. It's very soft like a feather.
Yeah. Stevie, you have anything to share?
But
Stevie? Good. Merle, you want to share? You don't have to.
Well, it's just kind of, I was surrounded by tree beings, is kind of the image I got for a while, and then it got really dark, but I was safe, and then all of a sudden there was blue sky. So anything after that,
I wasn't going to tell you this because I didn't want to say this in front of everybody, but they're saying you need to tell them. You told me once upon a time about a red dragon.
yes, I was draconian.
He left you.
Okay.
They removed him, and I saw him running up your body and gone. And it was a good thing. You needed because this is a good thing.
Okay.
And you needed to recognize that you no longer have that force that's behind you.
Cool, that answers this one.
Okay.
Cool.
Did you feel that? Or did that come to you? Or
No, but it answers. He used to be in my gong, and now he's no longer there, so I wonder where he went.
yeah, but don't warn him. Don't call him back. He
Oh,
doesn't-
oh.
Yeah. It's gone. Okay. Do you want to share anything else? Yeah, I'm looking at you.
You mind next?
Only if you want to.
I don't know, I kind of zone out, but I felt like I went like really, really high, like I was like really connected way up there, and it was beyond my comprehension, so I just kind of blanked out. and I got whatever I needed. That's all I know. But I don't have any visuals, so.
Terry, do you want to share?
I have a ringing in my left ear, and when you first started talking, it went real loud, real high pitched, and then it went down to nothing. And then whenever we started doing this, it kind of like, I don't know, it's like a wall came up around it or something. I don't even know how to explain it. And then when we first started, there was a softness that came up, like right around here. And then they always touch me right back here in my hair. So.
You want to share anything? Okay. We recognize that you have all been given a gift that you're not fully aware of at this time. We are asking for your presence and help upon the earth as you move forward. We are truly appreciative and grateful for the gifts that you have been given and the openness and honesty that you are in possession of as you move forward on this journey. We are truly grateful for you all. As we leave at this time, we wish to share our love, and we will be gone at this moment. Oh, Snow, you're gone. Okay, thank you guys.